I laugh because you're the person who's jumping up and down on one leg, and I don't even know what these symbols are that you're doing a lot of times. I don't even know what they mean. I don't know,
Uh-oh.
like, whatever that is with what is that called, Haley? A
What?
bow and arrow, like you shooting
Yes,
something,
yes, yes, yes.
a
Like
bow
somebody
and
hits a
arrow.
3. Somebody
Like
hits a
somebody
3.
hits, yeah, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You throw up the fingers, the 3 and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
I love watching when you try to chest butt some of the bigger players, and then you literally fall down because
This is true.
you think you big, and then you do
Mhm.
your little flips and stuff like that. I just love watching you with your players.
Presented by State Farm. Welcome back to Sometimes I Hoop. It's your host, Haley Jones. So, regular season is officially over. And so, for this episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've got a very special guest making their debut on the pod. So, heading into postseason play, I'm joined by the woman who's been with me since day one. She is the most elite chef, the toughest coach I ever had. She brought that Southern hospitality to that West Coast, and the best mama during the game, the one and only Miss Monique Jones, aka my mom. Welcome to the pod, Mom.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm so excited. Right off the bat, let's get into it. Who's the better hooper, you or dad? Who's taking it one-on-one?
One-on-one? Do we get to
Mm-hmm.
make different rules or just play by like normal rules? You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
if we're playing by your rules in any game, you're going to win. So let's play by everybody rules.
Oh, shoot. Then your dad's gonna win if I have to play like normal rules. If we can like cheat a little bit and say he has to just go on the outside and just inside
Mm-hmm.
the game, then I'm gonna win because I'm gonna cheat. But
Yeah.
I can't beat 6'7".
I don't know if
I
you I don't
try.
know I don't know if I'd say cheat, but you do bend the rules just a
I
tad.
bend them. I bend
You
them. I bent them with you your whole life on trying to beat you. So I mean, what do you
This
think I'm
is
gonna do with
true.
your dad?
This is true. This is true. The rivalry, the competition started before I was even in the picture.
100%. 100%.
Okay. And so would you credit you or dad for getting me into basketball?
Oh, that's 100% me.
100%.
100% me.
Oh wow. That's a sure bet. That's a
What
sure bet, Mom.
100%. Like we eat, sleep, drink basketball. That's what it kind of always has been.
Mhm.
So, you know,
I got you. I
we're
got you.
happy. It's nice when your kid loves something that you love. But
Mhm.
if it wasn't something that you had loved, then we would have had to pivot if that was swimming or whatever that was going to be. But we were always big on you getting to try different things and just see what clicked for you. And
Mhm.
we are lucky enough as parents that the thing we love the most, you loved.
Let's kind of get into the landscape of women's hoops. And I know we talk about this often, but now we can just share it on the pod, a little bit of our banter we have going on.
Okay.
But we know a lot of top 25 teams have had tough final conference games heading into this postseason, which regular season titles on the line. So, you know, for us, our road was tough. We had 25 USC, 17 UCLA on the road at Colorado, double overtime, playing at altitude. You were there all 50
Yes.
minutes. I was
Yeah.
gassed. And
Yep.
then we had a tough loss at Utah, which ended up in us being co-conference champs. We won it outright, but we're co-conference champs. So watching these games, understanding what's at stake for us, what's going through your mind?
Stress.
Stress.
Pure stress. I explained to people, people look at me and they'll be like, gosh, you look like you lost weight. And I said, I go, Haley Jones has been the best diet these
Oh my
last 4
God.
years. I appreciate that because it is pure pacing during
Mhm.
Haley's games of just pure stress. And you look at you when you're playing and it's just straight calm, complete opposite, just
Mhm.
calm, relax, in control. And I feel like I just want to vomit because it's
Oh
just so
my
stressed out.
gosh.
It's just a whole different experience.
I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like I get that calm vibe from dad. Dad is
100%.
what we saw, cool, calm, collected. And then you,
Correct.
on the other hand, are like fireball of energy, ready to
Like,
go.
let's go.
And so, like, I feel like at different times throughout the game, I'm able to channel both of you. So,
Correct.
like, in a double overtime game like Colorado, I'm trying to keep the team calm, everybody else calm.
Right.
But then like a big shot happens, somebody gets a block, whatever. Then you see that you of me come out and I'm screaming and I'm hyped up. Like you said, I'm chest bumping this and that.
Right.
But I feel like all parents have a vibe, like acting at games. How would
Yeah.
you describe your vibe to be in the stands?
Oh, I'm actually pretty chill during the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty much just kind of watching, kind of, I guess we could say surveying kind of what is kind of like going on.
Mhm.
Um, uh, but me and your dad, we normally how we communicate normally during the game, we'll normally just be texting each other because we want
Mhm.
people to know what we're thinking and what we're saying. So we'll like text each other, be like, "Did you see that? You see they didn't even give Haley that call. She don't ever get that
Oh my
call."
god.
Well, then or I'll just be like, how come they don't ever want to give my child, a foul call, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Your dad like tapping me on the shoulder, like, right. So,
Mhm.
but normally I'm pretty chill at the games, with the exception of the last game. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah.
you usually are pretty chill, and I think I remember, like, watching the TV copies back of, like, the Final 4 games, and then they always pan to you and dad in crunch time, and you're
Yeah,
just sitting there, just so calm, and I'm like, "I've never seen this side of this woman." Like, you're usually just ready to go, and you're just sitting there just praying, just,
praying.
"Come on, Haley, please, please."
Praying, hands in my face, completely just stressed out, just
Mhm.
saying, "Lord, please help my child not get hurt today." It's all that kind of stuff that's going on the entire time.
Yeah.
Stress,
Oh,
stress.
stress. Looking outside the Pac-12, let's get into the Big Ten. We
Okay,
watched that Iowa game yesterday,
that was
upset number 2
nice,
Indiana. When Caitlin Clark
nice.
hit that 3 at the buzzer, she was on the pod a couple of weeks ago talking about how that game was already sold out.
Yeah.
What did you think about that shot? Did you know it was gonna go to her? Were you screaming at the TV? I know you're a TV yeller. What was happening in the house? I missed it.
Straight yelling. When that shot came, we were screaming. We're like, Caitlin Clark about to be Caitlin Clark.
Mhm.
And then she did that little 1 foot shot, and you're just like, oh, that is money.
Yeah, you knew from
Like,
the second left her hands.
the
It was good.
second that she left, you're like, "Oh, that is good." Like,
Mhm.
this is a good game. Like, you don't ever count her out. Like, she gets fired up, gets intense. She's a baller. She's gonna lead her team just like you're gonna lead your team. You
Mhm.
guys know when you gotta be calm, but you know when you gotta like get them fired up, it's time to go. That was a fun game. We
It
had
was.
Sunday a bunch of games. It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
Sunday was a good day. I mean, even outside of the Big Ten and the ACC, Notre
Yep.
Dame got away with 2 close wins over Louisville,
Oof.
pretty close to each other. One in
Yep.
overtime when
Yep.
Olivia hit that shot, and
Yep.
then they won, what, by another 3 at Louisville. And
Right.
then you're gonna have that cross little state rivalry. North Carolina beat Duke, and then that meant Duke didn't get a share of the conference title, and then
Right.
Clemson just beat Florida State. I mean, the conference matchups are crazy, and I know sometimes you'll
Yep.
text me and you'll be like, "Haley, are you watching this game?" I'm like,
Yep.
"No, ma'am. Like, I'm in class, whatever." But you're
Yep.
on it. I feel like you're always on it. So what draws you to these games? How do you keep track of everything going on? What is it?
I just love watching women's basketball. Like, it's
Mhm.
just fun to just watch, and then it's also just cool to watch it because a lot of these players you have relationships with. If
Yeah.
that's from, when you guys were younger playing, is that from Team USA playing? You guys just built a great rapport.
Mhm.
So, it's like when I was watching Indiana, play Iowa, it was like, "Oh, there's Grace Berger, and that's somebody you went to Puerto Rico with Team USA." So,
Mhm.
there's always a connection with one of these teams, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what's, like, really fun about it. Like, every single team, if you go to NC State, you know somebody. So, you go to ACC, you're talking about Duke, that's Celeste Taylor, that's one of your teammates from USA Basketball.
Yeah.
So, it's like that USA Basketball, that became like a family. Like,
Mhm.
when you travel to Belarus, Latvia,
You bond.
you bond
Yeah.
because there's nothing else to do. So, we all became very tight.
Yeah,
So,
you're
it's
right.
just fun to watch.
I mean, it's interesting because I talk about with other people on the pod or just my friends about how we became such good friends. And so when I watch them and this and that, I'm like, I have connections. Like I'm looking for their games, this and that. But you also created connections not only with the parents, but like with the
Yeah.
kids as well. Talk to them after the game. Now you're rooting for them. So it's so cool to hear that like now you keep track of everybody just as I do. But instead of talking to
Yeah.
them after the game, you'll text their parent and be like, oh my gosh, she played so well, this and that. Like it's so cool to see a separate network of camaraderie across women's college basketball outside of just the players.
Oh, 100%. Example, when you played Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of crazy. First time we went and played at Tennessee and we beat them and I went over to see Malika and to give her a hug. Here's all these Tennessee Vols just staring at us like, why are you coming over here to this section?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, it's all right. That's my girl. Like we cool.
Yeah.
And we're all taking like photo op and doing pictures. But then when Tennessee came here this time, I was like, I got your kids. I'm taking pictures of Jordan pregame, sending them to her mom
Yeah.
after the game. You and Jordan are like doing a little photo op together because you're like, when it's court time and you guys it's time to play, it is on. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
competitors. Like you're like, I'm gonna beat you. I'll help you up after I beat you. But when the game is over, the game is over. And there's just
Yeah.
that mutual respect. And that's what I love about the sport and how you guys carry yourself.
100%. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about SEC bringing them into play, but we've kind of had this debate on the pod talking about the best conference, as you well know.
Mhm.
So I think we've got to ask you. Hopefully, you will pad the stats. But from watching these past 4 years and knowing the
Mm.
landscape,
Yeah.
what's the best conference?
Pac-12.
Right? There's
Pac-12.
no debate. That's what I've been trying to say. Okay, but I haven't told you my reasoning. So what's your reasoning for the Pac-12, mom?
First off, Pac-12, I believe, what do we have? 6 teams that were ranked in like the top 25.
Tell them.
2 years ago, you had two Pac-12 teams in the national championship game.
Yep. List them
Um,
off.
you you had Arizona and you have Stanford. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
you're predicting 2 number 1 seeds of 2 Pac-12 teams,
Uh-huh.
and that
Precisely.
is with Utah that everybody is sleeping on, and they're gonna be at
Everyone.
everybody. They're gonna be
Uh-huh.
all hard out.
They
Those
are.
sophomore girls on that team, they don't
And then
play.
and you throwing Peely, you got that leadership. They're tough.
They are tough. They are clicking.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great coach right there. She got them
Mm-hmm.
rocking. Last year when we played at Utah, I swear there was under 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
This year when we played at Utah, there was over 8,000 people.
Yeah,
The
it was loud.
loudest gym period I've ever played in.
N-
Period.
You think that was the loudest gym?
That
Louder,
was
louder, louder than Columbia last year?
Columbia, Gonzaga.
Gonzaga was
Gonzaga,
loud.
Gonzaga was loud, but
Gonzaga was
Utah,
loud. It
it
was
was
loud.
like it was loud because it was like this was their first time there, you
Yeah.
know? It was like this different intensity that they had. They definitely were the 6, 7, 8 man out there,
Mhm.
just, rooting for their team, and it helped them. It helped them.
Mhm.
But Pac-12 is tough, tough.
I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you. No, no, no other debates here. We are on the
Yeah.
same team. Taking it back a little bit, how would you describe young Haley in hoops? What was I like?
Awkward.
Awkward.
Haley
That's the
Haley
first word?
First word. Haley, for people who do not know, Haley is the clumsiest person in the world.
Mhm.
Here's a great story. Here's Haley. I think she's a freshman at Midi, and they're going to a tournament. And they're at this gym, and the freshmen have to carry. I think they had to carry like a cooler with all the drinks in it, right?
Oh my God.
And
Mhm.
Haley's at the very top in this gym, and there's a bunch of steps. So here's the coach on the court, all the seniors, everybody, right? And then all of a sudden you heard this boom, 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 boom. I don't even have to look because then we know it was Haley, and they're just looking. And I look over, and Haley says what Haley always says: I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right. because that's what Haley does. When you
Oh
watch,
my gosh.
when you, another great story with Haley on the
I feel like
basketball
I
court.
feel like one story is good.
Second story, Haley literally tripped on her own. Nobody near her when she was on the basketball court. I said, Haley, what happened? She goes, Mama, there was this gust of air that came in the gym. And that gust of air with the closed door in the gym, the gust of air made me fall down. That's why I fell.
Mom, you know I've never been a good liar.
No, everything shows in your face. Everything. You can't lie at all.
I
It's
know, I
nice.
know. I remember both stories, but I remember the first one because I not only did I fall down like
Yep.
3 steps on these
Yep.
wood bleachers, but
Yep.
everything came out the cooler. And my teammates, I was like the last one in the gym. So they're already down the court and they look up at me and I'm like, oh, please keep walking. Please leave me here. Please leave me by my lonesome. So
Correct.
embarrassing.
Little
But
freshman.
let's off of the clumsiness, you were a coach growing up, and then you ended up
Right.
being my coach.
Yep.
And as I mentioned earlier, as I introduced you, you were the toughest coach I have ever had.
Yeah.
What for you were the best and worst parts of being my coach?
I think the best thing about being your coach was just being able to spend time with you.
Mhm.
That was probably the best thing because that driving time, listening to music, getting to laugh on our way to practice,
Yes, on the
on our
way.
way to the game.
Mhm.
Afterwards, a lot of times you probably didn't want to get a ride home with me,
Yeah.
but that would probably be some of the best times, just getting to bond with you. That's something that is just beyond special. I think some of the worst times would be uh, when you were a coach's kid. Um, there's always most coaches who coach their kids, you're going to be harder on your kids. You have very different expectations because you want people to know that you earned it. Nothing
Mhm.
was ever given to you. And I probably went to an extreme on that point to make sure that you were not treated with any type of favoritism whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
I was Okay, Haley Jones. I was probably the hardest to you on that team. And
Mm.
but that was just what my expectations were also for you. So the hardest thing was, watching you be upset when I'm being hard on you. But I hope you know that I hope you know that I always love you,
Mhm.
continue to love you, and always wanted the best for you. But it was always trying to do that fine line of being coach and mom. I think you would always kind of say to your friends who would want to coach for me, you would say, or play for me, you'd always say, look, you're used to my mom at home who bakes stuff for you guys who have fun. She's a completely different person on the court. Do you
Yeah.
guys really want to do this? So,
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree. I would say that the best times that we had, like you being my coach, some of the best parts were just getting to spend time together, do road trips together.
yeah,
You coached all of me and my best friends. So just hanging out, having team sleepovers, whatnot, having that time with you. But you're right. Like it was tough, especially being as young as I was and
yeah,
being not probably least favorite. I was the least favorite on the team. And so like,
100%.
you know,
I ain't gonna lie.
having having times where like, if I don't make the free throw, instead of just running with the team, you sit me at
Yeah,
half court and I gotta
yep,
watch them.
yep,
Or I get benched for XYZ and after the game, I'm trying to ride home with somebody else. And you're like, nope, get in the car. I'm like,
yep,
Could
yep,
any other parent please take me home? Like
yep,
those times were tough, but I think since we have now and have always had such a close relationship, when I was younger, it was harder to understand and like get home. And you were able to just get in the car and be like, okay, Haley, let's go get ice cream. And I'm like, no, like we're fighting right now. I don't want to hang out with you. And you're like, come on, like let's watch a movie. I'm
Right,
like, no. But
right,
when I was younger, it was definitely hard to understand. But as I got older, I was able to gain more of an appreciation for having you be tough on me. It's been able to make me be able to take coaching, be coachable, be open to new ideas, never be the
yep,
person where like I don't want to get corrected or this and that. I've always been able to take it.
yep,
So I think that you being so hard on me has allowed me to become the player that I am today. Like me being able to be humble and appreciate every little, grasp onto what people tell me, different things like that. But yeah, it was definitely a struggle when I was younger. I was like, I don't want to hang out with you right now. And you're like, get in the car. We still have family dinner. I'm like, okay, dad, save me. Dad, you
Yeah.
pick me up. He ain't
Yeah.
helping me.
Yeah. There was many a times we'd come home and your dad would have this look in his face like, so we talking? We're not
Yeah.
talking. And you
Yeah.
do this look, you'd be like, I'm not talking right now. Just
Hmm.
give you a few minutes. But
For sure.
always love, always love.
All love. Okay, mom. Talking about NIL, how do you think you've kind of taken on the role of being my momager here?
Unpaid.
So, yes, unpaid
That's
intern manager, best out there.
100% full-time
Okay.
job.
Well, back to the question at hand.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Outside of your job description,
Mm,
how do you think our relationship has handled the adjustment of you becoming my momager?
trials and tribulations.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's um, I think the main thing is I look at my job as really to alleviate some things from your day-to-day life. This
Mhm.
NIL stuff, these came up this started 2 years earlier than we really were predicting. So, I look at it as just to be someone to help manage your schedule because the number one thing is for you to be a student first, student athlete.
Mhm.
So, you don't get to reap any of the rewards of any of these NIL opportunities unless you're performing in the classroom, and unless you're performing in the court.
Yeah.
So we always kind of make sure that we're keeping that balance and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do in that classroom first and then on that court.
For sure.
Yeah.
And okay, so since you said these trials and tribulation, trial and error, what would be for all the momagers out there listening or people going through this process as we are, what would be your do's and don'ts for the other momagers across the country?
I think the main thing is listen to your kid, listen to
Mm.
them as in what they want to do. Because we have to understand that they are now young adults
Mhm.
and kind of see that what their vision is. So you need to make sure that we understand that this is about your daughter and setting her up for success.
Yeah,
It is all about her, period. And anyone that gets into this and thinks it's something other than about helping your daughter succeed in life, um, then you're going to have to check yourself on certain things.
mhm.
But it is about supporting them.
We're gonna do
Yeah.
our vibe check session, okay? So these are going to be fast response answers, as fast as you can, okay? Okay,
All
you're
right.
gonna
All
kill
right.
you're gonna kill it.
All right.
So
I'm
number
ready. I'm
one,
ready.
what is your biggest basketball ick about me?
Biggest basketball ick. How about you fall down?
Oh my god. Okay, best game you've seen me play.
Uh, 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 championship game, Final Four,
Great
best
answer.
game, baller.
Okay, worst game you've seen me play.
Mm,
Come on.
can't name one.
Come on.
Can't name
Not
one.
one. There's no T. Okay.
Your worst game I've ever seen you play in.
Uh-huh.
Uh, which one do you think? What was your
Ma'am,
worst game?
this isn't about me.
Oh,
This
I'm
isn't
sorry.
these aren't
Uh,
my answers.
Jeez, Haley. I can't name what I would
You're
say. You
slacking.
know what,
You're
Haley? You put
slacking.
so much pressure on yourself on every single
Mom,
game.
mom,
Games that
next
you go,
question. Next question. Have you heard anyone trash talk me in the stands and what did you do?
yes, I had.
Uh-huh. What'd you do? You said something back. I know you did.
Ripped them apart. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Would you rather
Sorry.
would you rather see me hit a game-winning shot or have a game-winning block?
Shot.
Uh-huh. Would you rather see me get an and one or a three?
Oh, and
And
one.
one. And one.
Give me
I knew.
that.
What's your best impersonation of me?
Oh,
Ma'am,
oh,
on the court. On the court.
uh, oh,
On the court.
oh, on the court.
Yeah.
Best impersonation, Haley.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
Oh, is that me flexing?
flexing with no muscles.
F
Flex, flex.
You didn't need to say no muscles. Okay, if I wasn't a basketball player, what would you want me to be?
If you weren't a basketball, I'd like you to be a judge.
Okay. Is there any pregame ritual or superstition that you do before my game?
Yes. I
Okay, what
listen
is
to
it?
I listen to gospel music.
I knew it was gonna be Kirk Franklin or
There we go.
Georgia Mass Choir. Okay.
100%.
Does dad have one?
Dad makes me listen to all his rap music on the drive there. That's his
Lovely.
ritual. Yes.
Okay, and then last one. What
Yeah.
is you got to give us your best pregame speech to me heading into the tournament? Off the noggin, off the dome.
Haley, be you. Go out there, ball out. One of the things I always say to you, no mercy. No mercy. I've said this to you your entire life. Stop playing with people. Stop letting
Mhm.
people think that they can play with you. Crush their hope. Leave no hope alive. It is game time. It is your time. Kill it. Kill it. Let's go. Let's get another Pac-12 championship. Let's go.
Well, that was a great job on the rapid fire answers.
Thank you very much.
Great job, Mom. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Sometimes I Hoop. We will be back during the tournament, so stay tuned to follow all the madness. That was very good. Very good. I thought you were going to say something about track meet, but you didn't. I'm very surprised.
I'm always yelling track meet. Run them.
You are.
Mismatch. Run them, run them, run them. Let's go.